a production of South Carolina ETV.
Barbecue is a feeling, it's an idea, it's related with fun, it's related with a culture. We don't even spell it, we just make it BBQ.
They want to just smoked meat. That's that's the main thing, smoked meat. They tired of the gas cooked oven meat and the electric cooked meat. They want to smoke meat.
Attaboy. How'd you win those trophies?
Tell them, boys. Tell them how you want those trophies, Ralph.
Barbecue chair?
Yeah. Come here. They want to know.
Hey, Ralph. Hey, let's do it. Barbecue! Barbecue! We love barbecue. We're here to do barbecue. We can do the barbecue. You come on up here. We'll show you some barbecue. We're gonna do some barbecue. Barbecue. Come on right in here. We gonna do some barbecue. Now let me show you what real barbecue can do. You look in here. We got shoulders. We got ribs. We got chicken. We got bologna. That's some of that southern stuff. Most Yankees don't know what it is.
I like all kind of meat, but pork barbecue is the ultimate. It's a mecca. It's a zenith.
Well, we're normally closed on Mondays and Tuesdays, and by Wednesday they're ready for their fix. It's kind of like a drug.
Barbecue's kind of like sex. The bit worst in the world's good.
I make a mess of myself when I eat these things, and I don't care who's looking.
Barbecue fascinates me almost as much as video. A couple years ago, I decided I could use my camera to explore the cultural significance of barbecue in the South and thereby indulge both of my passions. Needless to say, I had no shortage of volunteers for crew. We met a lot of good people and ate a lot of good food, but all we really learned was that the more barbecue we consumed, the more we were consumed by it.
Where do you think he's going to want to be? Get right over here. See
there's a triple negative, isn't it? There ain't no thing like a nowhere. So that means that there is something like a nowhere.
When they come here, I know what they want. I believe I know what they want, barbecue. I try to take care of them if I can. Oh, sir. Seems like they're crazy about it, like it. I appreciate that.
Well, they tell you they like it. I've never had one say they didn't like it, but no one's going to come up to you and tell you your wife's ugly. You know what I mean?
Barbecue, you can't beat it. You got to start off with a sow and a boo hog.
A sow and a what?
A boo hog. A sow's the female hog, a boo hog's the boo. Then you get little piglets.
Your barbecue could probably be identified as maybe a painting or a craft that you would make. You start out from scratch, and it's something that, like I said before, it's a challenge every time you make it. And to turn off a good batch of barbecue makes you feel real good.
You don't have to have an occasion to have a barbecue. You just look for an excuse.
What are the best excuses you've found to have barbecues?
Oh, sometimes just being Saturday, full moon, a birthday, anniversary, wedding. The only thing that I know is excluded is a funeral. Never have had one at a funeral. It's kind of a universal food. Anybody who doesn't like it wouldn't dare admit he didn't like it. And no matter how good or bad it is, it's never as good as the fellow that's eating it can make it at home.
I hope they come back, because I don't want to leave Jay with this much meat. These two.
Thanks. Mmm.
One of the neat things about barbecue, I think, is that it does bring a reaction for everybody. Everybody has an opinion about it. It's a personal thing. It's like, you know, what kind of underwear you want to wear. You make your selection and you become very loyal to it and stick to it. And you don't want to mess around with other people's stuff. You know, you want your very own. And you don't mind telling people what you think about it.
You think of barbecue as part of culture?
Completely.
In what way?
Well, America doesn't have very many ethnic foods of its own. Barbecue is one of the few.
I think it's one of the luxuries. One can eat barbecue and know again that it's distinct and that it's different and cannot be mesmerized into anything that even approximates harmony.
Now don't be filming here.
Why?
This is a professional business enterprise here. We have to make sure we have decorum and professionalism at all times.
Yeah, the pigmobile, I guess, kind of sets that standard, doesn't
Well,
it?
it actually does. It certainly does. Now, that is our model. We have a future superhero coming out, the Pigman, protecting people from the swine of the world. Folks, I'll get your order right here. Don't mind this man behind the camera. He's just...
never been here, so we'd just like to look and see what you got.
Well, good. Come on up. Here's a menu right here. I'll get your order out here, and then we'll kind of expedite things a little bit.
I see.
Looks like you got barbecue, and barbecue.
Yeah.
You looking for your pig? And so what is it now? How does someone get their name put up on the Pig Hill of Fame?
Oh, you have to qualify for that. You have to have an honest face, 2, good intentions, and 3, $5. I felt guilty when I first started charging. The first 100 were free, so we call those the pioneer pigs. We now have about 1,528 as of this date.
Well, how many do you anticipate having in the future?
I think we can hang them in the trees and 4,000 or 5,000.
You know, the South is made up of people who are true believers, and they believe the barbecue that they eat is the only true barbecue. And it truly does have something of a religious experience about it. You hear people talking about making a pilgrimage to a barbecue restaurant, or a certain restaurant is a mecca for whole hog, or for mustard-based sauce, or for Texas barbecue, or whatever.
It would be blasphemous to be against wood cooking, because all the Old Testament rituals and all the Old Testament sacrifices were cooked with wood, and that was ordained by God. So, in other words, if you ask me who was the original barbecue, it was God himself.
Some people talk about barbecue as if it's almost a religious experience.
Well, I don't think it's quite a religious experience, but it's an experience, especially when it starts running down both sides of your chin and dripping in your lap. You know you've had a good barbecue.
Why do you think that Southerners are so into pork? You ever thought about that?
Because I think we all kind of look like them after a while. You eat enough of it, you begin to kind of look like these fellas right here.
Are there any ways that you would not eat barbecue? Barbecue linguine?
Probably only as a dessert. I think that's where you reach your limit. Barbecue a la mode or something like that.
Do you have good barbecue here?
Yes, sir, the best in the country.
Whatever gave you the idea to have people fly in here for it?
Well, because I like to fly myself. And bought me an airplane and I needed somewhere to keep it, so I built me an airstrip out there. And the people just started to dropping in, and I said, well, come on.
Maybe you need to have a fly-in window, like like McDonald's and Hardee's have the drive-in window. You ever thought about putting in a fly-in window?
Hi, how you doing? You're 2 Mile Shoulders, right? 460.
It's a little different, family style. Just sit down and eat. They issue a knife and no fork. So it's a get after it. Just grab root and growl, as they say in this country.
They say what?
Grab a root and growl.
If you try to stay clean eating barbecue, you ain't gonna have no good time eating. You just go ahead and eat it, get it on your fingers and wipe it off on whatever, hopefully a napkin or your arm or whatever. Said the Indians used to eat barbecue and wipe the oil on their arms, and it kind of helped them from getting chapped out in the sun and all, kind of give them a little suntan.
It's an expression of a lifestyle. What you have here, we're across the street from a cotton mill. There's been a cotton mill on that site since 1850, which means that about 15% of the atmosphere today is lint. It will do something to your lungs, and your skin, and your food. And I think there's a combination of the textile industry, the tobacco industry, barbecue, and NASCAR. And it's all part of the same mindset and lifestyle. The thing about NASCAR is we drive counterclockwise. If you drive counterclockwise at 200 miles an hour for 500 miles, you wind up with 65% of your brain centrifuged to the right hemisphere, which is the seat of imagination, and dreams, and creativity. But it deprives you of much consecutive thought, linear, rational discourse. But it's a sacrifice I can make.
Last night in the hotel room, in sort of the privacy of my own thinking, I was able to eat those sausages, bites of those sausages, and really figure the difference. You know, really be with the sausage.
If you're interested in going out and being at one with the sausage, you'll never get a damn documentary shot. I don't think. I don't think you really have time to be at one with the sausage when you're trying to figure out how to get into a place that's real and get some stuff that's useful and get out of there.
You gotta love this hobby. You gotta love barbecue. You talk to this thing, you spend all night with it, you pamper it, you rub it, you treat it like a fine lady.
What are the criteria that you use to judge whether barbecue is good?
I would say it's exactly the same as how you decide if a woman is pretty or if Cabernet is worth its Sauvignon. If it's well-formed, well-rounded, and delicious, then that fits the bill.
The way I judge barbecue is how far is it worth to go to get it. This is a 30-mile barbecue. Yeah, there's not an upper limit. You can't ever tell what you might run into.
What's the furthest you've ever driven to get barbecue?
I mean, on purpose. Columbia, South Carolina, from Boone. How far is that? About
180 miles or something?
200 miles.
Piggy Park. I made that trip several times.
You can check and see if it's too greasy. It's when you can mash down on your fork and you see how much comes out. Now, given there's a lot of sauce in there, but if it floats, if grease floats to where you can sort of get that rainbow sheen like a cheap oil spill, then you know it's a little on the greasy side. That's not mean it's not good, but it's going to be a little on the greasy side. And this is very good. It's very lean.
Most places are pretty parsimonious with the meat, but Mike lays it on thick. That's part of what makes it a 50-mile barbecue.
I thought you just said it was a 30-mile barbecue. Now it's up to a 50-mile barbecue?
It's getting better as I go. So get used to the slaw.
You like barbecue?
Love it. Unfortunately, it's kind of fattening.
Well, you don't look any worse to wear, you know, for barbecue. You've done pretty well.
I could stand to lose 20 pounds, and besides, your cameras are going to put another 20 on me.
Now wait, do you think the cameras make people look bigger than they are?
Absolutely. I was in theater for many years, and I know so.
We're dealing with reality here.
Right. Highly edited reality.
What are you cooking up right now?
Nothing. We're not going to even light that fire on Friday. We figure we got other things to do first.
So is cooking kind of a very small part to you of the
Secondary.
whole barbecue?
Completely very small. Completely secondary.
Maybe even third place.
Maybe third place.
All right, what's first and second place in this process?
Drinking and ogling. When I drink so much I can't ogle and I go to the room.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
What's your name?
Boyd Atkinson. Now really, I'm a Buffalo Skinner, Indian fighter, Cavalry Scout. We killed all the buffalo, ran off all the Indians, and disbanded the cavalry. I worked myself out of a job, so I'm unemployed.
Well, you ever thought about getting a job as a bullshitter?
Well, I practice law for a living, so my daddy told me I was too lazy to work and too nervous to steal, so he sent me to law school. That's what I do for a living. I don't work, I just practice law. Never been doing it for 20 years and never gotten it right since.
People say you have to use a certain kind of meat. Others say the meat doesn't matter, it's got to be a certain kind of wood. Others say, no, any meat, any wood, but it's got to be a certain phase of the moon. Others say any meat, any wood, any phase of the moon, but it's got to be a certain race in the cook. You know, white people can't do it or black people can't do it. Calvin Trillin said once that going to a white-run barbecue is like going to a Gentile internist. It'd probably be all right, but you are really not taking advantage of the percentages.
If you don't cook the whole pig, it's not barbecue because the head, the nose, the barb, and the tail's the cue. And cooking shoulder butts and stuff like that on liquid and gas cookers can't be true barbecue because your flavor do come from the type wood you use. Where people that cook with gas and electricity had to have a barbecue sauce which is made up from liquid smoke to try to give it a barbecue flavor.
In a gas cooker, electric cooker, the man puts the meat in there and turns the timer on. Whereas mine, he doesn't even have a thermometer on that thing. He's got to go where his knowledge, his feel for it, he can even smell when the meat's getting too hot. He knows he's fired his pit too hot.
When you're cooking and the conditions are right, you can almost tell when it's going to snow. You're cooking the barbecue, and the barbecue will only cook right on its face. And you cook it 12, 14, 16 hours before you're going to even get it cooking in the middle.
How'd you learn how to cook barbecue?
I learned that when I was about 13 years old. Hope a fellow cooked one night and give me some praises for it, and I thought I did something because I was a young one. And I've been doing it ever since. I've been here 26 years.
So someone like me that basically can just barely boil water, how long would it take me to learn how to cook a pig?
Maybe 2 nights I can learn you if you want to learn. I can learn anybody if you want to learn, but if you don't want to learn, you could never learn for a lifetime.
The old guys working down there when I worked,
tell how long they had been working by how many fingertips they had missing. We had a guy named Jack Patterson. He didn't have too many whole fingers left.
So where's the best place in the world to eat barbecue?
Wherever you can sit down at. First of all, you want to see smoke coming out of the chimney. If you don't have smoke coming out of the chimney, it means they've imported it from somewhere. They got to be cooking that shoulder right back there behind. You don't want a real pretty place. No way in the world. If it's spick and span, real pretty, got all those fancy things about it, don't go in there. That means they've imported it or they don't make it themselves. You want a rather run-down building. You want one that has an old Pepsi or Coca-Cola sign up there that's about 25 years old. And you want people that look like they have worked with barbecue. That means they'll have big white aprons on with all kinds of barbecue juice all over it. They'll have Pepsi and Coke in bottles. And they're going to talk barbecue. And you'll have a wonderful aroma. The minute you stick your head in the right barbecue place, you'll know it.
National Geographic picked us as world's best, and everybody said, well, all places that picked like that should have a dome on it to let people know it is the barbecue capital of the world. So that's the reason we put the dome on it.
We found on our journey that some of the best barbecue that's out there is created in those little kind of dives.
Well, it's not for me. It could be really good barbecue, but if it looked, like that, I just wouldn't, it would take my appetite. I just wouldn't be able to eat it.
Would you be worried about what was in there?
I'd be worried about it being dirty and about meat. I'd be worried about everything. And the grease.
Well, have you ever had any barbecue that made you sick?
No.
Well, that's an irrational fear then.
But I would have been sick at this place between Galveston and Houston if I had eaten it, but I didn't eat it.
Should take, well, this fire and one more.
You have to kind of lean in there to get the ones in the back, don't you?
Yeah.
You ever set your shirt on fire?
No, but I've lost footing and you get stuck laying on the ledge here.
When you walk around, do people notice that you are in the barbecue business?
Yeah. I've gone to meet my wife at the Coliseum for a Memphis State basketball game and come in late, and I'll run up to the concession stand to get a Pronto Pup and a Coke, and somebody will be standing next to me and they'll be looking around and looking at the menu, and they're saying, gee, Claire, I didn't know they served barbecue here. And they're smelling it on me, and they think they're going to order a sandwich. But it's just me. So it's in my hair, it gets in your clothes, everything. Y'all will smell like it when you get back out there in your truck.
I could smell it.
That's pretty funny. They started sniffing. I know. That's wild, isn't it?
Clear downhill, clear downhill, clear downhill, clear downhill, clear
I'm glad
downhill.
the man's got a nose for barbecue, otherwise we'd still be driving around.
If there's barbecue around, I can find the barbecue.
You're gonna pass out. You're gonna hyperventilate and pass out.
That's gonna get.
In fact, I've got a deal with the mortician that's across the street over here that he's not going to embalm me. He's just going to lay me out because I'm already cured, and I'm being in all that smoke for these many years.
It's the smell. It's the feeling you get when you see the building and you walk through those old doors. It's like going back in time almost. It's like your childhood again, and you feel good. Everybody associates, eating with pleasure or guilt.
Got my first whipping, my only whipping from my mother for coming home with barbecue sauce on my shirt, we lived on a pretty busy street here in town, and I wasn't old enough to be allowed to cross the street yet, and there was a Tops barbecue location down the street, but it was across the street, and I got caught with that barbecue sauce on my shirt. So, I mean, I wasn't old enough to cross the street. I don't know how old I was, 5 or 6 or something, and I was already going down and buying my own, you know.
I was away once for 3 years. I was off in the Navy in the Pacific. When I got back, I didn't go home. I went to Troutman's, put my suitcase down and ate 4 chopped barbecues without breathing, and I think that was awful for me, but I needed that kind of restoration of the imbalance.
When I came out this morning, the folks said, Bob, you won't believe this, but at 8:30 they actually started lining up to get barbecue today. And as you glance around the cafeteria this morning and this afternoon, all you see are smiling faces and that delicious Southern pit-cooked barbecue. Now, maybe you don't like just barbecue plates, you want something else. There's barbecue sandwiches, delicious Brunswick stew, that fantastic slaw. And the price is very reasonable, too. So in case you've not had lunch yet, why not make the boss guy kind of spring for lunch today? The plate's only $6. Whole hams are just $4.50. Or maybe you like Brunswick stew. And you hearty eaters, the big gallon size only $20, and the half gallon size for $10, the quart size are $5, or a pint of Brunswick stew is just $2.50.
When I first did the designs for the Hornets uniforms, and I said, well, I'll do the designs for nothing, but I would like to have a percentage royalty of a standard arrangement that we have on the amount of products that you sell. And they said, well, it's all convoluted with the NBA, and it's owned by all these teams and all that stuff. We can't do that. I thought to myself, well, let's see, what have they got that they could do Carolina barbecue? And so, as the Washington Post said, Julian designs team uniforms and is paid in pork. And so for a couple of years there, I got 5 pounds of Carolina barbecue a month. You can see where it went.
Some man came in here about three years ago. He couldn't have children. He's about 80 years old, married a 20-year-old girl. Couldn't have children. They said he's been sterile since about his 60s. He ate one of my ribs down here at this place down on the interstate. Had triplets that next spring. That's how good they are here in Memphis.
When I was 21 years old, my father sent me a suckling pig for my birthday. All the other girls were getting fur coats and diamond earrings, and I get this pig. I went to school in upstate New York. It arrives in a box, and I didn't know what to do. I had no idea. I didn't even know how to cook it, nothing. We finally ended up in the dining hall, and I could hardly get anybody to come and eat it with me because, it's not a real common thing in the North.
You ever had any Yankees coming here that don't know what barbecue is?
Yeah. I asked them if they want slaw on their sandwich, and they go nuts. They don't know what you're talking about.
They don't know what to do with the sauce. What's this?
How hot's hot? What's the difference between beef and pork?
Now wait, I talked to somebody, there was a waiter at the Rodneyville in Memphis that swore to me that people came in and asked what was the difference between beef and pork.
They do it all the time.
They'll do it.
Constantly.
We tell them to go.
A lot of Yankees look down on barbecue. My wife is a Yankee. She's been converted, but her family, they don't eat barbecue when they come to visit. We'll take them to a good barbecue place like this, and they'll eat fish sandwich or something like that. It's really kind of a shame.
I'm from right here. Memphis, Tennessee. Have you ever met a Yankee that could barbecue? Hell no. Never. We got one on our team, and we don't even let him try to come up here and cook. Yankees can't. Why do you let him on the team? Because he procures things. He's got money. He's got money. He procures a few things. He's a good procurer. But we won't let him touch anything before it cooks. We left him down here last night, and he broke the chain on the cooker.
I have heard 1 or 2 stories about people eating decent barbecue above the Mason-Dixon line, but that's sort of like UFOs and Elvis and ghosts. It's one of those things you would really have to experience for yourself before you believe it, I don't believe it. I may personally experience it one day and change my mind, but until that point, I wouldn't believe it.
that all they know about barbecue in Texas and Oklahoma is they dig a big hole in the ground. They shoot a couple of steers and they throw them down in the hole, and if they ran over some rabbits or armadillos and they throw them in the hole, and then they light a fire. They throw the fire in the hole and they cover it back over with dirt, and they dig it up about 4 days later and say, "Yahoo, let's have a barbecue."
These people come here from different places. We had a fella not so awful long ago came here from Atlanta. Before we ever got any on his plate, he said, "I guess you know it, Georgia has the best barbecue in the world." And I said, "Yeah, they probably do." Well, sometime an hour and a half later or something or other, after he had had his second plate, he said, "I'm not real certain if I'd ever had any barbecue before now."
Do you think that you've eaten an entire pig's worth of barbecue yet on this trip?
Yeah.
I mean, on this overall journey?
I feel like I probably have.
Eaten a whole pig?
I feel like it anyway. It doesn't take that much barbecue really to make you feel like you've eaten a lot. So I probably have not actually eaten an entire pig. I just feel like I have.
They put this awful tomato sauce on it even when they cook pork out here. And they don't really cook pork except sort of as a charity to people who can't handle the real stuff, the meat, the cattle, the beef.
Why do you think it is that they think of beef as being a man's meat?
Well, this is Texas. It's the wide open spaces. It's the West, the cattle ranching type of place.
What would possess a man to start smoking meat?
Well, a challenge is the main thing. I think challenges cause us all to do things that we normally wouldn't do. But I've smoked, like I said, possum, fish, deer, squirrels, rabbit, you name it just about, I've smoked it. Of course, not here at the restaurant, mind you, at home. But that's just, the challenge is more than anything the reason I'm in. It's what I enjoy.
Well, have you ever smoked anything that you just couldn't eat?
Not yet. You got anything in your pocket, we'll throw it in there and try it. See if you need it.
You ever barbecue anything besides pork?
Oh, yeah. Beef, deer, possum, coon, goat, chicken, bear. I'll cook about some of everything you think of.
Now wait a minute, do you have barbecued possum and coon?
Barbecued coon, possum, bear, deer. Yeah.
What did that taste like?
What?
Barbecued coon.
Goat. Coon and goat taste about the same. Barbecue rabbit. Coon is good. Rabbit too. I don't care too much about possum though.
Would you feel like then that in some ways barbecue is a macho experience? I mean, you don't really see women hanging out with big chunks of meat much, do you?
Well, I did sort of feel like the ancestral pull of men, in loincloths or in tunics of some kind with hunks of meat and big fires and smoking it after the kill. I mean, I definitely, heard those voices, but at the same time, it was just me alone, and I was wearing my pajamas.
You don't, have you ever cooked barbecue in a loincloth?
No, I've never cooked barbecue in a loincloth. Well, you wouldn't want to, I think. Although, it could be kind of interesting, actually, to let the smoke wash over your bare body. I'd enjoy that.
It takes us back, I guess, to our primitive roots. You give us some fire and a hunk of meat, and we're happy. We can make food out of that. We don't understand 350 for, 45 minutes. That doesn't make much sense to us. Turn that sucker wide open and cook it. That's our way. So I think we feel very at home. We can spit outside, too, and we like to spit. And you can drink beer and throw the can on the ground. You can kick a dog. All these things are sort of manly things to do when it comes time to cook. And we just don't feel comfortable in the kitchen.
Well, I don't see many women in barbecue, and I wondered if you
Wait
think...
until next year. I'm going to have an all-girl team. Just like I have an all-girl sailing team, we're going to have an all-girl cooking team. Because I know that I cook better ribs than my partner, Johnny.
Well, why aren't there more women in barbecue, you think?
Wimps, I guess. I don't know. Because men think it's a men thing. You know, the women are the 90s. We can do it.
It's funny, you don't normally think about women eating a lot of barbecue.
Well, you don't normally think about women eating a lot of anything, you know. I guess the stereotypical woman is more dainty and a little more reserved than that, and it just would be considered gauche for a woman just to go in there and brag about how she ate her weight in barbecue.
But men would do it all the time.
Oh, men do it all the time, but it's, you know, you don't ever think of a woman with a beer belly either. You try not to anyway.
Well, why do you think there's that difference between men and women about food?
I think it has to do with control and with consuming things and with power. You know, eating is a power trip. You're out there taking it all in, just getting out there, reaching out and grabbing it and sucking it back, you know. Okay. And women, you don't think about women doing that. There's something about gnawing, you know. I like to gnaw. And, you know, cleaning the bone, I guess it kind of goes back to our animal instincts. This is really what eating's all about. You know, we kind of, I think, sanitize eating in our culture. And this is good old bottom line, great eating.
You know, the real secret lies in, I'm sure, the preparation of the meat before it goes on the barbecue. My suspicion is that they boil it for a while and then put it in this delectable sauce, which I just tried to buy some and they won't sell me any.
No, I think boiling meat is heresy in the barbecue business. I really don't think you'd find them I don't think they'd be boiling any meat.
Well, now you know why I'm in real estate.
You know, we're living at a time when everybody seems to be going for fast food, you know.
Barbecue is a slow food. You can't cook no fast barbecue, not get good barbecue. It takes time.
Why does it take time?
Well, if you put too much heat on it, you get it too brown on the outside and it won't cook on the inside. Once you brown the outside too much, the heat won't penetrate. It's just burnt.
It's also, to me, in a way, consistent with the South in that it's a slower food. You know, it takes hours to make barbecue, and I've at least read that it's consistent with the Southern lifestyle being slower than life in other parts of the country. I wonder if you have any thoughts at all on that.
Not yet. As long as a man's got one trait, one particular thing, and then when when you see a car or a customer pulls up, you know he's here for one thing. And you know, that's basically it. He's not coming in to buy a cheeseburger. You can get cheeseburgers, soybean burgers all the way down this road. McDonald's, Hardee's, and I'm just the old type fashion person. I like a greasy, a moist sandwich. I want the real thing, and I don't want something that's been imitated. I just don't like it. I've been approached by lots of people in Austin that have been in this business for years and years about partnerships and expanding. Whenever they'd build a new shopping center, I would get a letter that says, we want you to come out here and rent a space and put in a small restaurant. But I've got a theory that a pig gets fat, but a hog gets slaughtered. And you need to stick to what you know, and I know this place, and if I babysit it and stoke that fire, it's going to always be good.
Was this yours? I guess someone just left it.
He just put it there. I can have get a bottle of sauce also.
We sold out over the weekend. We don't have any. Sorry.
I think the secret is not only just in the cooking, but it's the sauce. Because everybody can cook ribs, you know, damn near. But the sauce is the secret. Because if you don't have a good sauce, they're not going to be good. Won't you agree?
Let's just drink it.
I haven't let that do it.
She drinks sauce?
Get something, drink it by itself.
Wow.
Every Saturday.
How much sauce would she drink? Like, she just take a couple like this and drink it? Oh, man.
You say, ooh, that's good like that.
Well, you know, it is good like that, believe it or not.
Well, it looks like you're just putting paprika on them. I can do that.
Top secret.
You mean that what's in that paprika jar is not paprika?
Top secret.
How many people know that top secret?
Oh, the family.
What would it take for me to get you to tell me the secret?
You don't have enough.
How many people know the recipe to your sauce?
One, and it's in the safe deposit box in case something happens to the one that does know it. Not even the wife. Special cooker, the whole works. Come up here on Sunday and make it.
You don't even let anybody watch you make it?
Nobody.
A lot of people, they do such a big thing with sauce. When you go to eat, you don't know if you're eating pork, you don't know if you're eating ham, you don't know if you're eating chicken, you don't know anything, because all they're interested in is trying to show the people how good a sauce they got. But to me, the sauce ain't worth a damn if you can't taste the meat. What the hell, why do it then? You're there to eat the meat. If you can compliment both of them either way, I think you got a hell of a deal going on.
Here's what you need to do, see. Sauce, I love to slop it with sauce. You put some on me, fun here.
Some people think it's wrong to violate the sanctity of the meat by slathering sauce all over it.
Well, see, this sanctity of meat issue is something I argue with. I basically feel like the meat is really the same, and I've eaten a lot of barbecue. Put a little in there to get you sweating. And you put it on here. I like to sweat. That's why I like the extra hot sauce. Here. Not even labeled. I love it. Who knows? Who knows what it is? But I can feel it. You can see the sweat kind of beating up on my nose and on my forehead. That means you're there.
We gotta know about this sauce now.
It's got a good wang to it.
Part of the secret of my sauce I got from the Bible, you see. So mustard is mentioned in the Bible, mustard seed. The mustard seed comes to barbecue sauce.
My mother in particular is concerned about how much barbecue I've been consuming because she's concerned about my health.
My advice to you would be not to eat barbecue at every place where you do video. Just eat it maybe once or twice during the trip. The other times, eat something else, eat some vegetables.
I really don't want to live much past 50, and I'd like to have, I might as well go with clogged arteries, is the way I look at it, Might as well go, why be in good shape when you die, kind of sort of thing. So I plan on pumping through little pinhole, latter years of my life, just pumping through pinholes, which I probably will. In part due to this wonderful barbecue that we have in Memphis, which I try to partake of whenever I get the chance.
Moderation would be the key word to describe how one should relate to barbecue. Barbecue, because it's made up of meat, has a whole lot of more fat in it than one needs. The quantities of meat that one ordinarily eats when one eats barbecue is way above the suggested amount. Suggested amount of meat per day is 2 3-ounce servings, which is the size of 2 deck of cards. You tell me if you've ever seen anybody eat such a small portion of barbecue.
So how many barbecue sandwiches do you think you could eat at one time? Jumbos.
Oh, I could easily go 3. I'd have to lay off the side orders, but three sandwiches pretty easily. You talking about losing it or not losing it?
Wait, have you ever eaten barbecue until you just threw up?
Well, some places have a barbecue buffet, which is kind of dangerous, where you can go eat as much barbecue as you want to. That's rough.
Eating barbecue that much, I think, would definitely result in probably obesity and definitely an increased risk of heart disease because of the atherosclerotic arteries.
So those people that have been telling me that they like to keep the arteries lubed up pretty good, they're just a little bit crazy or what?
I think they missed the boat somewhere. I think that's not quite how it works.
All our ancestors that come into this country, that's about the only, they raised their own cow. All of them had pigs or hogs. They got out and worked for a living. People that's worried about cholesterol, maybe they got a desk job or something like that. Everybody's got to be doing something. But I think that you can eat about anything you want if you get plenty of exercise.
Is there anything you won't eat?
Can't think of it right now. I ain't never eat no possum. I've eat groundhog.
Now, does your dog like barbecue?
I think so. He's been kind of chomping at the bit here all day at the barbecue, Poplar Tent barbecue, but I haven't given him any. I don't think barbecue's good for puppies.
Do you think barbecue is good for humans?
No, but we eat it anyway. But I mean, what is good for us? Isn't he, darling? He's something.
Why do you think we would eat something like that that's not good for us
Well,
then?
why do we smoke cigarettes? Why do we drink bourbon? It tastes good, and there's a certain amount of, there's a little sin involved. All that pork fat and greasy stuff. I mean, it's great. It tastes good, but it's not necessarily the best thing for your body.
Some people smoke things in refrigerators. They'll smoke fish in refrigerators. No, a lot of people do it. The whole inside gets all melty and toxic, But one of the good things about this smoker, although I'm sure there's all sorts of carcinogens and toxic stuff in the smoke, is that you're just taking hickory chunks, big old hickory chunks, like a big chunk of wood, and it's just a piece of hickory tree. And you're going to infuse the meat with the burned products of that chunk of wood. So you're really going to be eating the wood, in a way. And that's it. You're not eating the inside of a refrigerator. You're not eating the melted plastic from the inside of somebody's refrigerator smoke.
Yeah, but there are people that would argue that eating all the fat and all the stuff that you get when you eat a hog is probably about equal to eating the insides of a refrigerator as far as your health is concerned.
And no doubt, there's no doubt that eating this pig is not good for my body, but it might be good for my soul.
One time, two times, hold it. I said, do you want to party? Do you want to party? Do you want to party? How many do you
Y'all want to split those ribs? Who wants some ribs?
Kim, would you have those over here? Just touch them.
Yeah, whatever.
Vegetarian, huh?
Kim's a vegetarian. Oh, I'll eat them if nobody else wants them. I'll definitely eat them. I don't want you to get grease all over the camera there, dude.
Does anybody have a Tums? There's some in there, I think, around there somewhere.
Rob the board. The four major food groups of the UT fan: barbecue, 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 and some more barbecue.
What relationship does barbecue have to football?
Well, it's all intermingled. It is chemistry, the right spices, the right texture, the right kick, the right punch. The aggressiveness of the taste of barbecue and football go hand in hand. It's got that bite in there that we like to see in football.
If you get a pig excited while you're killing him, it lets some fluid loose in his body,
and it kind of does something to the meat. That's why I say when you're killing the pig, you keep it nice and calm and just kill it.
I wouldn't be caught dead eating barbecue. It's a violent lifestyle. You know, standing around, just cooking that pig. You know, once was a really cute pig with a nice pink nose, and you know, tearing away at the flesh, and you know, yee-hawing, and
it's not stringy like pork barbecue. It's chunks of tofu. Actually, I like the taste of this better than pork. I don't like the fact that we raise animals simply as something to eat, and they have no life. They're pinned up for whatever short life they have, and then sacrificed so that we can eat them.
And it doesn't bother you when we do the same thing to squash?
I don't think it bothers the squash as much as it bothers a cow or a pig, no.
I don't get too sentimental about a pig, especially one that gave up his life for such a worthy cause. God loves a pig. I'll have a pig.
I had an uncle who had a pet pig as a kid. They're apparently fairly dainty, clean, smart animals. They make nice pets, I'm told. Faulkner has a description of the way pigs walk, a twinkling, purposeful, porcine trot. They really are. They walk like Babe Ruth. You know, they have these little bitty legs supporting a big bulk.
I think people like pigs. It's kind of hard to sit here for me to say that one. We're cooking it all up, but we had one. Our employees gave us a pet pig for a while. He was happy.
Are you saying basically that Southerners like pigs on the hoof or on the grill?
I think so. I think human beings like pigs.
They like pigs as pigs, they like pork as pork, but they don't want to associate the two together, baby.
When you say enough's enough?
Actually, that's a good question because I'm trying to quit right now. I mean, I hope that this will be the last shoot because I've got more footage than I need really to make this program, and I'm not sure why I continue shooting. People come up to me with interesting places or interesting people connected with barbecue, and I somehow just feel drawn to it, and it's kind of in an odd way out of my control. But I'm hoping I can quit. Are you proud of the fact that the president comes in and eats barbecue in the same place that you do?
Absolutely. I really am.
Do you think that barbecue in any way contributed to his success?
Most likely it did. It gave us a spirit. If you eat this, you get feeling good.
Republican Party has only recently come to appreciate barbecue. They've been trying to expand their base a little bit and cut into the things that Southern people think are important. And barbecue is one way to do it. But I tell you what, it's not the same when you eat it off a Port-a-Pig at a country club. It just ain't right.
If you ever want to run for office in North Carolina, don't condemn barbecue. Now, in 1984, I ran for governor. Now, I'd been eating barbecue about 3 times a day for 1 solid year, and I got up one night, and in a very, very lax moment, the devil made me do it, I made a horrible statement. I said, I'm through with barbecue. I've had enough of it. I'm not eating anymore. Well, you would have thought that I made a speech against my mother, against apple pie, cherry pie, the whole mess. I was roundly condemned the next day by all the newspapers in the state who said Edmiston unfit to be governor. He has attacked the state food. I promptly went on television, radio, newspapers, and apologized profusely to the people of North Carolina for that intemperate, horrible remark. I even went so far as to get back on barbecue, full dose, 3 times a day, and I was forgiven by the people, but I still never made governor because I blasphemed barbecue.
There's going to be conflict in it eventually from Congress and Senate. They're going to say, they're going to bring up this pollution type of thing and say that it's hazardous to you. It's getting now where everything causes cancer. You know how that is.
People eat less meat today than they used to. They're going to more chicken. They're going to more vegetables and beans. So I really think the future of pork barbecue is limited.
Life without barbecue, I might as well be a vegetarian, and if I was a vegetarian, I might as well be dead. It's just not worth it.
You need to have some of it. Other than talk about it, have it. Have you some beef now. You sure need the beef.
My mind was saying keep on going, but my body was saying stop. I knew I had to get off that barbecue trail or else.
That's heavenly. Very good.
It'd been a good ride, but I'd begun to feel totally smoked. Burned on the outside and well done on the inside.
How about that?
That was a treat. I appreciate it.
Right, well.
I knew it was finally time to get this thing off the grill and start chopping.
You can kill it.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting that the one thing that's kind of unpleasant about this whole thing, the most unpleasant thing to most people, the actual, killing of an animal. You've interviewed people about killing of, how do you feel that this was once a live pig, and you want to have gotten the live pigs on footage. You've gone ahead and taken the live pigs running around, but then you haven't spoken for the pigs. By showing the butchering, showing what it is. You were able to use them running around.
You want me to speak for the pigs? Well, I'm doing a damn good job to speak for myself. I can't speak for the pig.
Well,
do you want to speak for the pig, Jeff? If you want to speak for the pig, I'll interview you and you can speak for the pig.
Well, when you did interview me, I felt bad that I didn't speak for the pig.